So since I have a big soft spot for 90s rally cars, I decided to make a whole video dedicated to just those cars on Dirt 5. But instead of just any old video, I wanted to take all of the 90s rally cars in Dirt 5 and put them up in a time trial knockout of sorts to see which one is fastest in the game. Now before we get started, please leave the video a like, leave me a positive comment, and if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe for more weekly content like this. Now what I did was selected a race that had a good mixture of slow, fast, dirt, and tarmac. That way I could get a real feel for what each car does well and how fast it actually is. As we know, the 90s rally cars in the game are all front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, so the dirt will be a challenge for the front-wheel drive cars, while the tarmac will be a challenge for the all-wheel drive cars. I started out by setting a quick time in the Subaru Impreza S4 around Dreyers Gate circuit in Norway. After that, I got into all of the other cars and hot lapped each one for 10 laps. I did that because it would give me time to get a feel for the car and make sure I had the same opportunity to set a fast lap for each one equally. After I set times in all of the other cars, I went back to the Subaru and set another time in that car since I only ran it to set a base time for the others to beat. Each time is set in the time trial game mode under Arcade and is the same route at the same time of day and the same weather to make sure it's all fair. What you are seeing now is the base time I set in the Subaru Impreza S4. As you can see, I set a time of 1 minute 19.113. I'm pretty sure that was the number 2 time in the world when I set it. We will do this like a knockout event. We'll start in the Subi sitting on the throne with the Renault Clio Maxi up first to dethrone it. In order, we'll run the Renault, then the Peugeot 306, then the Lancer Evo 6, followed by the Escort RSCosworth, and then finally ending up in the Subaru Impreza S4 to end the knockouts. Let's jump right into the action with the Renault Clio. So here we go in the Renault Clio. This little thing, being so high in horsepower and being a front-wheel drive vehicle, was really difficult to get used to. The car has 255 brake horsepower based on what the game says. It's really difficult to turn the car in because of understeer when you're on the power, so you'll notice I am barely sliding around, but then once I get on the power, the car wants to just understeer into the wall. So I had to really get used to getting the car straight out of the corner before actually putting full power down. It doesn't slide very well, of course, especially when you're on the power because you've got front wheels pulling, back wheels sliding. But it's pretty grippy, especially on the tarmac sections. Really, it's grippy throughout the entire race, but you know, again, I chose this because of the mix of tarmac and dirt. But yeah, it was really difficult to get, you know, down to be able to put down a fast lap, but it is very quick. The goal again was to beat 1 minute 19.113 in the base time in the Impreza S4. On pace to actually smash that. Little tap of the wall there, it's alright though. Doesn't actually hurt your lap time much. But here we go, coming across the line in the Renault Clio, putting in a 1 minute 18.980, so that puts the Renault Clio on the top step, knocking off the base time of the Subaru. So let's move on now to the Peugeot. This little car is pretty awesome. The 306 Maxi. It's probably the most grippy car out of all of these, so you won't see a lot of sliding, but again, it is front wheel drive, so that makes it a little bit tough to get used to. It helped transitioning from the Renault to this Peugeot, to the 306, because that Renault was very difficult to get used to. However, this 306 handles much better, but it does lack that low end torque, as you'll see coming out of the corners. It's a little bit laggy. I don't want to say laggy necessarily, but a little weak on putting the power down to the ground. Very low end lag, it feels like. Far less wheel spin, I guess you could say, in the low bits there. But yeah, as you can see, extremely grippy, turns in well even when you're on full power, so it handles a lot better than the Renault. But you know, it seems like it has far less power when in fact it has, I think, 45 brake horsepower more. I think it weighs in at 300 horsepower on the game. But yeah, it weighs a little bit more. But here we come to the finish. This is actually one of a few laps that I put in on this car, out of 10, this is the absolute fastest I could go in this car at a 1 minute 19.580, which puts it slower than the Renault. So the Renault stays on the top step. Let's move on to the Lancer Evo 6 GSR. As you can see, I have paints similar to what I think would fit the vibe of these cars in their pasts. This one, of course, is a red and black version of the Tommy Mäkinen edition, Group A Evo 6. Love this car. It's really quick, easy to get used to on driving. Turns in well, slides well, puts the power down pretty well. This car has 300 horsepower in the game as well. It is an all-wheel drive version, of course, rather than the front-wheel drive of the last two cars. So it makes it a little bit more slidey on these tarmac sections, so a little bit less grippy, but it is more grippy in the dirt sections. I'm able to put the power down a little bit easier, of course, to get it out of the corners. This little section right up here is actually really fun. One of the more difficult corners right here, because you've got that little bump just before you're supposed to hit the turn in, so it's easy to overshoot that corner, and then going into that jump into a braking zone here, into these little tight twisty bits. I'm pretty sure I could have made it a little bit quicker through there without that little hesitation on that turn in. But yeah, coming here to the final straight, looks like we've got this in the bag, significantly faster, putting in a 1 minute 17.278. That puts the Lancer Evo 6 at the top, knocking off the Renault. So here we go on to the Escort RSCosworth skills. Now I love this car. As you can see, I sort of have the Carlos Sainz Repsol style paint scheme here. I tried to do that on all the cars, of course. We're limited in the paint booth, so this is the best I could do. This car is fantastic though. One of my favorite cars to drive in the 90s rally. One of the easiest to drive. Has a good mix of power as well as grip. 310 brake horsepower, and it has an A handling grade in the game. So if you're looking for the easiest car to jump in and drive, this is probably it. Let's see though if it can take down the Lancer Evo 6's time of 1:17.278. Again, coming into this very difficult section with the bump right here into the hard corner, going into the jump into a braking zone immediately upon landing. That's a tough one. It really is difficult. I did lose some time right here. As you can see, I took that a little bit wide, but I made it up around that corner. This last corner is really difficult to get right as well, so I missed the apex just slightly there. But here we come, looking pretty good so far, putting in a 1:17.211, just a little bit faster than the Evo 6. That puts the Escort RSCosworth at the top, knocking off the Lancer. So back into the Subi. Again, I put the base time of the Subi down, but it is the Subi's time to try to knock off the Escort RSCosworth. Let's see if we can do it. This is the more slidey of the all-wheel drive vehicles. It is my favorite, of course, as you all know. Anyone who's been around me for a while knows this. Again, with the blue and lime green Subaru paint, the iconic paint there. The car, again, gets the power down. It's fantastic. As you can see right there, the split, I'm a little bit slower, but that's okay. We have plenty of race left. This car is really fun. It sounds fantastic. Both of the Subarus in the game just sound amazing. Yeah, took that quarter pretty much as well as I could have taken it. Got the power down without any sliding. You know, drifting in this game doesn't necessarily make you faster like some rally racing would. Took that corner pretty well as well. Got the power down over the big jump, onto the brakes hard. This last bit is really difficult to get right, especially in a slidey car. Oh, it's tough to put the power down right there, but let's see if we can get it across the line here. Coming into the final corner, looks like we're on pace to be very close again to the Escort time of 1:17.211. Knocking it off, 1:17.078 in the Subaru Impreza S4 Rally. Thank you very much. What a run. God, that was really fun. The 90s rally cars, as I've said, are my favorite rally cars. I know everyone usually says Group B is their favorite, but being an 80s baby and growing up really in the 90s, these cars are my childhood. So there you have it. The Subaru Impreza S4 is the winner of the 90s rally knockoff, brought to you by Connor Speed 6 and Dirt 5. Please guys, leave the video a like, leave me a positive comment, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more weekly content like this. Also, the link to my Discord is down below, as well as a Teespring link for all the Connor Speed 6 merchandise you'd like to get your hands on. Please join the Speed Squad and support the channel. I really appreciate you guys being here. Until next time, I am Connor Speed 6. Much love, everyone. See you soon.